And BobWinesCameliaGardens.net on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 2. In the same blooming Christmas place since 1952.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Monday morning. So I wanted to tell you something from an experience I had maybe 20 years ago. I guess I did this. I was the activities director at one of the assisted living facilities here in Ocala. And one of the things I would do, I mean, I didn't just like play Monopoly with the people. Monopoly, I mean,
no,
bingo.
You were excellent.
But one of the things I would do is I would go pick up prescriptions, okay? Here's the thing I noticed. There was a lady there. I'm going to use one example. I'm not going to say her name. She's probably passed away anyway. But she was a widow. Her husband had been a New Jersey State Police officer, whatever they call him, highway patrolman in New Jersey. And they must have had the best insurance for their prescription meds. Because I would go to the drugstore, or to the pharmacy, and pick up her medicines, and it would be $1. It was unbelievable. Another lady in the facility would always send me, and it would be $100. It was like, whoa, what a big difference between the two, right? So let's talk about that a little bit with somebody who knows. Dan Klein is on the phone. He's the president and CEO of the PAN Foundation, which is the Patient Access Network, PAN. He's going to talk to us about options for those who cannot afford the high out-of-pocket costs for their prescribed medical treatments and prescription medications. Dan Klein, it's an important topic. We have a different what do you call it, Robin? Demographic here than most radio stations, in that we have a university, so we have a lot of young kids, and then we got the retirees. So we got both ends of the spectrum here.
Sure.
Good morning, Dan.
Sure.
So what I just described is there any way for the lady who was paying $100 for her pills to take care of that now, or is it too late once you're at that point?
That's a great question, and it depends a lot on the type of insurance benefit she has. But let's assume she's on Medicare, she's elderly, and depending on the time of year, one of the things that she could do is look and see whether there's a better health plan under Medicare that she might be able to join. So in Medicare, there's an open season that runs from the middle of October to, I think, the beginning of December. So we're past that. But one of the important things to do is to, during that open season, look to see whether the medications you're taking might be covered better under a different plan. So now that we're past the open season, though, let's say she still wants to try to reduce her out-of-pocket costs. And one of the important things to remember about Medicare is that it's a calendar year benefit. So the annual deductible and copay and coverage gap, sometimes called the donut hole, all reset at the beginning of the year. So if the person you're talking about is taking a prescription medication, she might want to think about refilling it now before the end of the year, and even maybe getting a 90-day supply, a 3-month supply, which is permitted by most of the health plans. And that would take her well into the new year before she'd have to pay out of pocket as much. So that's an easy thing to do. There's lots of other things that people can do to try to take advantage of their Medicare benefit. If you're lower income, if you're below $25,000 or so a year in income, you might qualify for something called the low income subsidy. That's a government program that helps lower income seniors by giving them extra benefits that would reduce their out-of-pocket costs. And then another really obvious thing to do is to check with your physician or your pharmacist just to see if a cheaper drug is available that might be just as effective as the one you're taking. So there may be a generic drug or a brand drug that could help save money. You also might be able to save money by getting your medication through a mail order pharmacy where you can get a 90-day supply instead of going to the
So I have a question about the PAN Foundation. Can a listener whose attention we have just piqued, can they go to your website or make a phone call to you guys to get some advice, some direction? I think the one thing that I hear, the feedback I get from people, not now, but like during the enrollment period, is that if they could, because here's why we get this feedback, because we have, let's say, insurance companies that buy time to advertise that they are there as a resource if anybody needs to talk to somebody. And I'm always getting the feedback that how do we know they're not trying to sell us their product? And I don't know the answer to that.
Sure.
So, and if it is, it's okay as long as it's the best product. Do you guys help with that?
Well, we can help to some degree, but what you're describing is during the open season, a lot of the Medicare Advantage plans are marketing to seniors and wanting seniors to enroll in their plans. And that may be a good thing, but the advice we would give is that the senior should check to make sure that the drug they're taking is covered by that plan and that the physician they're seeing and the pharmacist they use are in network. So those are basic questions that should always be asked when thinking about changing a health plan. Is the drug you're taking or the physician you're seeing or the pharmacist you're using in network and covered? If people want to get additional help, they can call us. Our 800 number is 866-316-7263. And they can call us and see whether a grant is available that would help pay for some of their costs. They can visit our website at thepanfoundation.org, PANfoundation.org, all one word. Mm-hmm. And within 10 minutes, they can find out whether we can provide a grant that would cover their out-of-pocket costs for as much as a year.
Wow.
And we provide help for about 70 different illnesses and hundreds of different drugs. And we're specifically here to help people who have insurance through, let's say, Medicare, and who are still struggling to pay for those out-of-pocket costs.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what we're here to do.
That is a great resource, just by telling us that number. Do you guys also give grants for dental or eyeglasses or things that sometimes medical insurance does not cover?
No, unfortunately, we have grants only for prescription medications, and we have some grants for what's called travel assistance. Sometimes people need help getting to their
for funerals?
treatment. And, well, for sometimes just going across town, or sometimes going. They may have to go to a special treatment center, like for cancer, and we can help pay those costs sometimes.
Oh, wonderful!
But most of what we do is help people with their deductibles and their co-pays and their co-insurance. And we provide over 100,000 people every year with grants. And we provide, as I said, grants for over 70 different illnesses and hundreds of different medications.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, thank you for giving us that information. I know that Robin will post this up on Facebook so that the listeners who need the information repeated, they can get it there. Dan, thank you for being on the air with us.
Well, thank you so much. Good talking to you, Robin and Larry.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing.